What's up, everybody? So I went back to Saren, grabbed all of my. Actually, I went back to not just Saren, grabbed all the loot from there, but I also flew back to Clelanon, which is where I'm leaving right now. Grabbed all of the salvage work that I got from doing the career agents and the Sisters of Eve epic arc, which you may or may not have watched. And so now I've got about 19 million worth of ISK and materials sitting in my cargo here. Only 200 or 180k worth is these two items that I carry around just to increase my scan strength. But I'm headed to Dodixie now, which is one of the trade hubs, to sell all of what I've got here. And I am not going to get 19 million, but if we can get somewhere between 17 and 18, that'll probably be pretty good. There are 4 or 5 main trade hubs. You've got Jita, Amar, Dodixie, Renz, and Hek. Now, Renz and Hek are both Minmatar. Dodixie is in Galente, if I'm not mistaken. And Amar is obviously in Amar, and Jita, I believe, is in Caldari space. So figure out which one's closest to you and just go there. The biggest of them all is Jita. In general, and hopefully I won't run into this problem, but if I do, then that's life. But in general, if you... There are safe spots that people have made to dock and undock from trade hubs safely. Now, if you're flying around in your ship, like me, you've only got 19 million, 19 and a half if you include my ship. That's really at stake there, and so it's not a huge deal. But a lot of people like to sit outside of trade hubs to gank people coming to sell their goods. Right, so they'll have 2 people. One that's in a disposable ship that they can one-shot you with, and then another person who is there, who's in their fleet or whatever, who can then swoop in and loot the remains of your ship for the goods. And there are horror stories of people losing tens of billions of ISK worth of Plex and other items flying in a shuttle, and they get one-shot. And so the ways that you can do that, I don't have any of these safe spots or warp-in spots on this character. I do on my higher skill point characters. But what it does is it drops you when you warp to 0. It drops you literally at 0, whereas a lot of times you'll see we're warping to this Morolus gate that it'll drop you at like 2,000 to 3,000 kilometers out. Here, let's see. And there you go. So it drops you right around 2,500, 2,400. And then there's a few seconds of you, sometimes, of you slow boating, is what it's called, sort of getting within range of the docking, or in this case, the warp. And that's when people can get you. So they'll have a safe spot or a waypoint that they've created or saved that's literally at 0. And so you warp there instead of to the station. And then you start hitting the dock button, and you hit and dock almost immediately. And then a safe undock is one where if your ship, as you are undocking, is pointed in a given direction, they have a waypoint that's saved that's 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 kilometers along that exact line. And right as you're undocking, if you hit that, if you tell it to warp to that, it almost immediately puts you into warp. And because you're already aligned, you just drop into warp immediately, and you're safe, and then you can warp off from there. So these are a bunch of bookmarks that you can transfer among your characters, I believe, through trade. You can make copies of waypoints, bookmarks, and things like that, and then you can just sort of populate all of your characters. I should do that just because it's safer, but right now I did not spend the time to do that. So if you have friends that play the game, ask them for safe dock and undock bookmarks, and yeah, and that'll save you some stress and time down the road, especially at Jita. Now, I've come and gone from Jita quite a bit, and Amar, with as much as I'm willing to travel with, which usually maxes out at like 150 to 200 million worth of goods. Um, so, and I've never really been attacked. I've been attacked because I had a bounty on my head, or because somebody had kill rights on me and they sold it on the open market, so you could pay 5 million and destroy me. And so when you have something like that going on, you generally don't want to do a lot of cargo runs to trade hubs, because there are a bunch of people just sitting around outside of the trade hub waiting for a juicy nugget like you to come along and make some easy ISK. Don't be the easy ISK.
Drive active.
So we're almost there. And as you can see, this event, I need to get to 10 before, well, the end of the day as far as Eve is concerned. So I need to go and either, I may actually get in my cruiser and do some security missions, just to change things up a bit. All right, so I don't remember exactly which station it is. I think it's the Federal Navy plant. Once you're in Dodixie. While I'm there, I might actually buy some Acolyte drones as well, because I seem to... Yeah, I can't load or unload. It's silly. So I can hold quite a few drones in this exploration ship. It's nice that they changed that. I don't know that I'm going to be able to get any real money for this thing, this blueprint, because they're relatively common. So I just hit the dock button, and usually battleships, what's it called? Not a maelstrom, but a tornado, I think, is the Alpha Strike ship of choice. But it's a pretty expensive ship to just be like giving up to whatever. You can really only sell blueprints like this on contracts as opposed to on the open market. This is the open market technically, but it's all right. So there we are. 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's like 4 or 5 seconds where we're kind of vulnerable sitting out there. All right. So I'm going to select all, unselect that, and my probes, and this drone, because I like drones and I probably need that, and these two, and I will drop them in the item hangar, which is where I have to sell them from. Then we can sell all of them at once. All right, so while that populates, what we're looking for is green primarily over here. The items in red are where you're getting less than market value. Green is more than market value. And you can see on a lot of these that they're red. Generally, my rule of thumb, and this is purely subjective, so this is like, it's up to you. So overall, it's telling me 18.8 million worth of product here. And I'm getting 15.5, or effectively, yeah, I'm effectively getting like 16. So do I care enough about that extra 2 million to come in here and sort of try to nickel and dime things like this? Maybe not. For me, I don't think I do, but for me, my rule of thumb is if they're trying to get me at more than a 5% discount, that's it. Even if it's 5.9%, I'm sorry, GTFO with that bullshit. So this, as an example, each one only sells for 9,600 ISK, but when you have 20 or 61 of them, suddenly you're looking at 600,000 ISK, right? And if you're selling that at a 25% discount, one way to see what you can do here is, all right, so we're looking at the buy orders. So 9,500, so yeah, 9596.01. Yeah, there's and then they're selling them here for 15,000, right? So like 50% markup right off the bat. So this is how people make money. And it kind of pisses me off, which is why I end up getting sucked into like flying all around to sell shit or doing sell orders on my own. You know, I don't know. I would sell it probably for $14,999.99, and you know, people may or may not buy it at that price. But look at that. If they, yeah. So this is what pisses me off. So anyway, so I can get about 16 million, and I've like, I'm actually getting 700, 800,000 more than this, so 16.2. So I'm losing overall about 10% of my value by just selling everything. And that's not terrible. And it saves me the time and the trouble of, you know, trying to sell things individually. So I'm just going to do it. I'll take the 15.5 million and giggle all the way to the bank. Too many open orders. All right. I may have to do this bit by bit here. But so there you go. Every time that I stopped and said, I'm going to salvage some stuff here, and you were like, man, that looks boring, I don't know why he's doing that. This is why he was doing that. Because we just made 16 million off of a little bit of exploration, and yeah, so now we are 15.5 million richer than we were before. And that's not too shabby. So, and we didn't hit any really good exploration sites either. So take that into consideration when you're like, man, only 18 million. You could make 18 million on one can from one site. Bailey girl, hey, you got a bad leg right now. You need to, no, take it easy. Lie down, you stay. All right, I think that's it for the video. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next video where we do a little bit more, maybe we'll get into more wormhole stuff, but I'm gonna go mine 10,000 units and see what I can do with that. Or maybe I'll run some security missions. Either way, I'll catch you later.